You're listening to 102.7 Chop FM, and this is ArtsTalk. Good evening, this is 102.7 Chop FM, and you're listening to ArtsTalk. I'm Dave Peters.
I'm Taylor Koss.
And this show is dedicated to bringing the arts to Newmarket. Not just the musical arts, although there's always lots of musicians on this show, but any artist practicing any discipline, be they amateur or professional. If you're in the arts and would like to appear on ArtsTalk, then we'd like to hear from you.
You can get in touch with us by emailing artstalkradio102.7@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Facebook. That's facebook.com/artstalkradio, and send us a message there.
And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday to hear awesome music and find out what's going on in the independent arts scene. Our guest tonight is Rue Bella.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Hey,
Oh, all of Rue Bella. Allow me to introduce you to Rue Bella. We have Adam Clark on vocals and bass. Adam Clark, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
We have Brandon Webb on vocals and guitar.
Good day, everybody.
We have the one and only Clint Del Bracco on drums.
Hola.
There he is. And we have the lovely, the talented Taylor Koss, vocal and keyboard.
Hello.
And a little bit of guitar now.
Yeah, we got a new song.
Which we'll talk about.
I'm excited.
Why you're letting her play guitar. We will
Better
talk
than I
about
am.
that.
Cats out of the bag.
I wish.
I'm just wondering the process, how you got permission for that.
I was promoted.
We'll find that out. So this is kind of an auspicious week for Rue Bella.
That's a big word.
Some important stuff going on. So, but before we get into that, the band formed, it's not quite 2 years, is it?
Ish.
Is it 2 years?
I think it's been, we've been friends for, was it 3 years on
Yeah, we had it
Facebook?
3
So
years.
definitely 2 years, yeah. It was 2000 and, we released our first album in 2016, but we were about a band, we were a band for about a year before we released
So
that.
2015.
I would say, yeah.
And you found Brandon in a gutter in Barrie, right off the Dunlop Street. Is that?
Yeah, he was covered in mud and
Other
dirt.
way around.
I could make a flirt with the dirt joke about that. Okay, I flirted with the dirt. We met because of Adam's mom and I had a mutual friend that they worked together, and you guys were in a band and looking for a singer, and then I just met you guys through that because I was a singer, and then I went out.
Adam's mom.
You were a guest vocalist.
I literally met these guys because of your mom.
Yeah, pretty much. Who's that?
Your mom was out
Aunt Cassandra.
recruiting vocalists?
She was just at work with
that?
someone who I knew.
Adam, your mom was out recruiting a vocalist?
Yeah, she was like, you guys suck, so you can sing. Totally.
Who was she referring to when she said you suck?
Not this guy and not me.
No. So then we I just went to one of their shows, and it took a little while for us to really connect and jam and whatever, but we just jammed a couple songs, and we were like, we've got something, let's roll with it and try out different things, different songs.
Was it precisely this configuration at that time?
Yeah.
So it just, you jammed a little bit and said, okay, let's become the most famous band in Barrie.
Don't say that.
See what happens.
Yeah,
But,
come on.
but that's exactly how it happened. We just started jamming and clicked, and we're like, wow, this sounds pretty awesome. So let's keep doing it.
And then the next major milestone was the release of the EP, right?
Yeah. Yes. So we recorded that ourselves at our studio, and took a couple months to do that, and we released that, and we've been really using that to promote the band for the longest time now, and now looking back at it and looking at the new stuff that we're about to release, it's quite fun to listen to.
There's some crossover from the EP to the new record, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. We re-recorded all 3 songs.
Yeah.
Is that laziness? Is that lack of inspiration? What is it? What caused
I wouldn't
to
say that at all. Okay, can I tell this story?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so here's what we went into. We were like, this record's going to be released in March because we're going to do a 6-song EP and blah, blah, blah. But then we were like, we have these other songs, and then there's one other song that's a new one. And the guys were like, let's just do a whole 11-track album. And that took some convincing. But, whoa, we just clicked Blue. I've never seen that.
Just a little bit.
That was
Easy on the
funny.
laughing clip.
Yeah, stop laughing so much, guys. No, but, so what, we want, I think there was like one extra song that we weren't going to include originally, and then, as a musician and as a songwriter, you bring these songs to the table. As a band, you let them grow, but then as you play for a couple years more, they grow more. So Something Witchy, Got Lost, and Black Solitaire, they're the same song, but there's definitely differences between the 2016 EP and Flirt with the Dirt's
Way more
versions.
polished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faster,
Oh,
different
yeah.
parts,
I
different
always
hooks.
feel like the certain songs sound like the tempo is all wrong and it's moving super slow. And I'm like, is it me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Is my CD player broken?
like slow-mo. Yeah.
Really?
So
And
there's
then now,
definitely
but
growth.
it's only like a few beats per minute, but it makes a huge difference. And then we're also more confident with the songs
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
And
But
I
so
think-
this is the difference between the way you record it and the way you now play it.
Yeah.
a year
when
of
you're
playing
performing.
some songs makes a big difference.
I would say,
Oh.
the second time around in the studio, we were just better prepared. I think the first time we went in, it was like an experiment.
Right.
Oh,
And
totally.
yeah, totally. And
It
then
was so much fun, though.
it was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Memories.
We got to know each other really well that first
Yeah,
time.
we really did. Getting dizzy in a red room. Okay, so
Did that a few times.
so I think we should just get to it. Let's listen to a song.
Yeah, let's stop talking and start listening.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So
Because
we-
we've been criticized for talking too much and listening too
Well, it
little.
is Arts Talk, but
It is. It's
I
Arts Talk.
think
It's
I'm the
not
one
It's gonna be Arts
criticizing.
Listen.
So wait,
Yeah,
this is
listen.
the first time we've ever played this or anything, right? Like,
Well, this song was debuted
Is this
on.
this is a world premiere.
No, it's not.
Oh.
94.9 played this, so I'm sorry.
Oh,
Don't-
yeah,
that was
yeah.
abuse, Dave.
What the F, Jennifer?
What the F, Jennifer?
Jennifer. I thought it was Hennifer.
I can't believe that we're not.
Don't
world
worry,
premiering
Red
this
Room
too.
is going to be a world premiere. You
Yeah.
get your turn.
Every
You
other
get
song.
your
We get
turn.
one world premiere. That's a part of our contract here at Chop FM is to have at least one world premiere per show. So why don't you tell me about
We're
Burn My
getting
Home?
screwed over
You wanna
all the
tell us
time.
a little bit about Burn My Home?
Yeah, so Burn My Home was one of the first tracks that we recorded this year. We recorded it at Randallbox North Studios with Brian Moncars as the engineer mixer. And we had John-Angus McDonald's, who is the guitar player of the Trues, and he produces the Trues as well as Glorious Sons. So he produced this track for us along with a couple others. And so this was a pretty new song to us as of last winter, and here it is.
This is not a world premiere, but it's probably the first time you're going to hear it. This is Burn My Home by Rue Bella on 102.7 Chop FM.
Someone should have warned me about this feeling, it's so dumb. I get habit of the while I am choking on your gun. And I got social graces, still I'm howling at your door. Yeah, my lips were kissed so hard that night, they were blood and torn. Yeah, my lips were kissed so hard. A little more. riding your own back. Man, you did your best. I'm gonna get it high, I'm gonna get it low, I'm gonna match it, baby, I'm gonna burn my hole. I'm gonna get it high, I'm gonna get it low, I'm gonna match it, baby, I'm gonna burn my hole. Burn my Getting dizzy in a red room, looking fine, drinking perfume. I live by my machine, my baby, he speaks for me. A silent understanding, she's driving kinda madly, and I don't really know why. He's giving her a piece of mind, but it goes on and on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Classic habits, I am gunning for the other side. Man, it's tragic, I will kick it when I'm satisfied. Alabama, come clean, I'm spitting up my dreams. You give me a secret, I'm not gonna keep it. If love's just an alibi, if love's just a free ride, call it a cheap thrill. About me a quick fill. It goes on and on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Classic habits, I am gunning for the other side. Man, it's tragic, I will kick it when I'm satisfied. Love me madly, but I'm running for the quickest ride. Well, run along with me, run along with me. With your heart in your mouth, these days are running out. Classic habits, I am gunning for the other side. Man, it's tragic, I will kick it when I'm satisfied. Love me madly, but I'm running for the quickest ride. Run along with me.
Rue Bella with Red Room on 102.7 Chop FM. This is ArtsTalk. I'm Dave Peters.
I'm Taylor Koss.
And this is the Rue Bella album launch show with Adam Clark,
Hello.
Brandon Webb,
Hey.
and Clint Del Bracco,
Hello.
and
There we
Taylor
go.
Koss.
Hi.
So Red Room was a global premiere,
Yeah,
was
you
it?
got your
There's my
go.
That was a
Awesome.
premiere. What'd you think,
Awesome.
David?
You can't even see that I'm spitting in there. Sorry. We have some pictures on the website or on the
DV,
CD.
scripted video here.
Yeah, I have the CD in my hands for the first time, and I'm so excited about it. I'm just scoping it out. And
looks
there's
beautiful.
a funny picture that we posted online where I'm spitting at the camera, but you can't even tell. So
No, you really can't.
now everyone that's listening knows the secret.
So before Red Room was Burn My Home, those are the 2 tunes we've heard. This is 11 songs on this record. And there was some debate back and forth. Do you do another EP? Do you do a full album?
Yeah, I mean, like in this day and age, it's kind of a good question to have. Like, my main thing was like, do people have enough time and attention span for full lengths? Because I just see a lot of EPs, shorter albums coming out. There's just so much music out in the world, online, accessible, that sometimes it seems like there's some sense in releasing shorter things, but also. So that was my thing. Let's talk about why we picked LP though. Why we picked
Yeah, I
full
think.
length.
Well, when you look at a lot of other bands and what they do, they do this EP thing where they'll go and they'll record 5 songs and just another 5 songs, another 5 songs, and keep releasing it. What I can't really remember the reason why we ended up going with a full length record, other than just talking about it and saying we have the song.
I think it was like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Let's just
like
redo those 3
Yeah.
and then.
Yeah, it's like let's just.
I think another thing too, and I remember you guys saying was like we wanted to kind of move on to
Right.
like, do we
Push
want to be
forward.
recording Socialites or whatever, a song that
Yeah.
do we want to record it this winter, not this winter, next winter, or whenever we do our
Right.
next album? And so in that regard, yeah, it's cool because now we've released these songs and we already have like not a handful, but we got some songs on the burners and.
Yeah.
So-
When you're in a band, you can find yourself spinning your wheels where you're doing. You're playing the same songs over and over and over again,
Yeah.
working on them, trying to tweak them over and over again.
Trying to
and
achieve some sort of perfection
Yeah,
that will
it's like-
never exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's I think doing this, it's like they're done.
Yeah.
Next level.
So there have been a few milestones in the history of this band, one of which was winning Local and Loud at 95 Rock up in Barrie, and the concert that led to, and the prize that you won, which was to do a video and a recording, and that led to the introduction to John Angus MacDonald. Am I right about that? Is that chronology
Yeah.
more or less correct?
Yeah.
So John Angus from the Trues recorded 3 of the tunes on this record. Produced 3 of the tunes on this record down in Toronto.
Yes.
So you had those kind of ready to go, and then that kind of formed. Did you decide? Okay, we're doing an album at around that. Was that a trigger of some kind? Winning Local and Loud, and that everything that came after that.
I think it was always the plan, whether we won Local and Loud or not.
Yeah.
I think when we won Local and Loud, we got a lot of really good opportunities, and I think the band just started doing really, really well, and that encouraged us
it opened
to.
doors for us. A lot of doors opened for Rock
Exactly.
25, like Local and Loud, yeah. But we always planned on doing another EP, a longer EP. Our original plan was to do a 6-song album EP, and even going into it with John Angus, we were still going to do that, and then go back to like our home studio and do the other 3 tracks. But then it was
What
so
songs
it's 5
do we
songs.
choose?
We had 2 other songs that we didn't. Yeah, like it was just we just had these songs that we were pretty much ready to record at that time, anyways. So that was.
So Adam, you had done the engineering and production on the EP, right? On the first EP,
Yeah, that's correct.
and then you went into this session with John Angus and his engineer.
Brian.
What did you learn from that? Because then you came out and you said, okay, let's add now 8 other tracks to what they had already done. Was there things that you saw them doing that changed the way you approached engineering production?
Oh, of course, yeah. Just
The amount of mics?
miking techniques.
Mike in the drums? Okay, 10 more mics or something?
There was what, 25 mics on the drum kit?
Come on.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he had toms top and bottom, snares top and bottom, several on the top of the snare,
Wow.
several different room mics. Like, it's just. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna emulate that and copy it. You don't have to use them all, but there you have them, and you pick and choose what you want on each song, what kind of sound you want. You layer it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clint, was the approach on the recording to do the drum tracks first and then everybody lays it on top of that?
Yeah, we did that, and it went pretty smooth. We actually allotted more time than was actually needed, so that worked
To
out
get
really
your
well.
stuff done?
Yeah, we had.
Is that because you're such a pro?
Oh yeah,
You won't admit it, but
I think it took him like 7 hours.
yeah, he banged the drum tracks pretty quickly.
But
That's astonishing, really?
Yeah, I did them pretty quick. I lucked out. I think actually the last time I was talking with you on here, I I invested on a really good electronic drum kit. So I made sure I was well prepared and rehearsed going into it,
Right.
and it worked out really good. So,
Do you remember the drum tech we had for that?
oh yeah,
That guy was amazing.
Mike was his name?
No, it was, I can't remember his
James.
name.
James. So we actually had actually john-angus is the one that recommended him. This guy James, he's a wizard when it comes to drums, and he was actually the drum tech for Our Lady Peace. And he came into the studio when
He's
we were in
also
Toronto.
guitar tech.
And their drums sound fantastic.
It
right?
was amazing. We'd be in the middle of recording a drum track, and he would all of a sudden, we'd go, okay, let's do another take. And he'd be like, hold on a second. And he'd come running in, and he would literally lay on the floor and just tune one lug on the bottom, and he'd be like, okay, you're good. And it was,
Come on.
yeah, he was that good.
Yeah,
It was
he was
pretty unreal.
How can your hearing be that good?
I don't know.
He
was
knew
really
exactly
good.
what it was. He's like, yeah, it's the 5th lug on the bottom floor, Tom. There we go.
There you
Got
go.
it.
That is astonishing.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So your nickname is now One Take Del Bracco? Is that pretty much right?
I wish.
That's a lot of pressure. So how were you recording? Were you doing it from a pre-recorded rhythm track, and is that how you did your?
Originally,
yeah.
so in prior bands that I played with, I did years ago. I did I think it was 8 songs on an album, and it was behind a fruit market down in the Danforth, and it was really old analog equipment, and it was like one shot, that's all you got. And so the way I used to do it was you just listen to a click and you play the song. So as far as having like ghost tracks and stuff, it's kind of a luxury. So I did have that, but my main focus is memorizing the song and following the click.
Play the click.
And that's it.
Wow.
So that's how I learned, I guess you could say. So anything above that is just cherry on top.
Cherry.
So
That's amazing. So you lay down these tracks in more or less a day.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
stopped by the end. We were like, we'll finish today. We'll start fresh tomorrow with bass and guitars.
And is that what you did? Bass next, and then
Yeah.
guitars next, and then keys and vocals after that?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a night person. I had to start the day. It's 10 in
Yeah.
the morning. Show up, start tracking. Shortly
Be sharp.
after. It's like put a couple coffees in me.
Totally.
Let's go.
No, it was cool. It was really good, and we got through those 3 songs really well, and then we did the what's the math on that one? 8 songs at the home studio. So we did a song called Loudmouth, which we were going to put on the original EP, but we didn't actually do that.
We got most of it recorded, and we were just not quite happy with it.
And the whole click track reminded me of that. That's why.
Right.
So because it's one of those songs where
Oh yeah.
yeah, like it rises
secret in
in
there.
tempo.
The
Like,
dynamics are
it's-
fantastic.
it builds and it goes.
Brandon was
faster.
asking me off air what my favorite track on the record is. I think it might be Loudmouth. I just love
Thank
that song.
You. It's the closing track on Flirt with the Dirt. I'm always a big fan of opening and closing tracks. But anyways, yeah, so that song didn't make it to the first EP, but then we finally got it down and we got it the way that we
I think
wanted.
we nailed it this time.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't release it the first
Me
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Oh, it wouldn't
Sounds
have
way
sounded
better now.
anything like
Yeah.
this.
We like programmed tempo changes in
Yeah.
it.
And then the Loudmouth, like this song was inspired by a horror movie I saw years ago, and there was this one clip in it that I always wanted to put in the song, and I never had just never the opportunity. So when we recorded it this time around, we put the clip in it, and then we also had, which we've had, Natalie Wong, my violin.
Your violinist.
She is lovely, beautiful voice,
Amazing.
beautiful, yeah.
Is she amazing or what?
She's
Natalie.
amazing. So we had Natalie
What talent?
Wong and her friend Leo Zhang, who plays cello, and he's amazing as well. We had both
Great.
of them come on the album and play strings on this track.
Outstanding. That was so cool.
So shall we listen to it?
I think we might as well.
I would love to.
I would.
We've kind of
I've
queued
never
it,
heard it before.
except for the last 10,000 times. From Flirt with the Dirt, this is Rue Bella with Loudmouth on 102.7 Chop FM.
He said to me, you've been a loudmouth girl. Girls gone and done it again. He said to me, you've been a loudmouth girl. Girls gone and done it again. Take her out to Arizona, to the racetrack on her back. Got it tied up in the van, and he said, do it alright. There's nothing you can do about it. He said to me, you've been a loudmouth girl. Girl's gone and done it again. He said to me, loudmouth girl.
Rue Bella with Socialites on 102.7 Chop FM. This is ArtsTalk, and I'm Dave Peters.
I'm Brandon Webb.
And I'm Taylor Koss.
I'm Clint.
Well, okay, let's go through that again,
Who
shall
are
we?
you?
We're never sure who we
Who are you?
Oh, there's the one-of-a-kind drum.
There's
Oh,
the
my
one of a
goodness.
kind.
Yeah. I'm Taylor Koss.
He's Adam Clark. He's Brandon Webb. He's Clint Del Bracco. This is
The one
Rue
and
Bella
Street Beautiful.
with their pre-world album release of Flirt with the Dirt, the actual album release party on Saturday night at the Fox Lounge
Fox
in Barrie.
Lounge.
The famous Fox Lounge. Proprietor Shane Heath, a friend of this show, a friend of independent rock music.
Always.
Definitely.
And
Definitely check us out online too, because we do have a little bit of a surprise on Friday
Really?
that you can find out if you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good fancy places.
Absolutely must do.
Yes, please do. Yeah,
I like top secret stuff.
it's top secret. Those guys don't even know
happening
either.
Friday.
I'm just kidding.
Seriously, you're not even telling the other members of the band what you're doing?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, I don't even know.
And you know everything.
That's going to be awesome. We're going to be joined with the Newlands, which we've had on ArtsTalk before. We love the Newlands.
We love the Newlands.
And we have the Crooked we had on recently.
Do we have the Crooked on?
Yeah, JC and Dell, remember?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Del came
Time,
up?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and
they're
then we
very
have
nice.
Hot Lips as well, which we haven't on the show, but hopefully one
One
day.
day.
What's the story on Hot
They're
Lips?
great. They're awesome. You've seen them before. We've played with them at a couple of their release shows in Toronto. It's a 3-piece. I'd say sort of like on the industrial, alternative rock, kind of gothy, you know,
Big sound.
electronic-ish.
I love it because, I don't want to pick favorites, but definitely two of the best bands from Toronto are playing our CD release party.
Nice.
And one of the best bands from Barrie is definitely...
Hands down, yeah.
Yeah, Newlands is one of my
Definitely.
favorites for sure.
Winning
Like,
lineup for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Yeah,
great
so
show.
you guys did hand curate this,
Oh, yeah.
this
Yeah.
lineup?
Of course.
We wouldn't have it any other way, Dave.
These are friends, and how would you say stylistically they match up with you guys?
Appropriately?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it kind of is a good, well-rounded lineup because we relate on different levels, right? Like Hot Lips and Rue Bella share a good stage together. We have, I don't know, we have similarities to all of these different bands. I don't want to get too
Is that right?
into
'Cause I think
you should come to the show and see what's
Yeah.
similar about it.
I'll be there. What characterizes you guys is dynamics. You're not afraid to get quiet. You're not afraid to slow down. A song like Loudmouth really captures that, and you're not afraid to rock out and get loud and metal up.
Metal up. When did we metal up, Dave?
Well, metal might be a little strong,
Just kidding. You said it, not me, darling.
but to rock up anyway, right? You're not afraid to bop your head. I've seen Adam bop his head.
Yeah. Bob.
I
metal up.
yeah.
So
good.
I think it's going to be an interesting show just for that.
Yeah,
Because it sounds
definitely.
like all the bands maybe have that kind of characteristic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We were trying to pick our favorite songs off the album, and that was going to be our whole point today. Was like, let's pick our favorite songs, and like we all kept picking the same songs. So Brandon's favorite was Red Room. What was your favorite, Clint?
I've got a couple.
Yeah?
I think right from the beginning, like right when I think that's a biased opinion because I love the drum beat in it.
I
That's
know, me
okay,
too.
though.
That
Red Room, right?
snare drum that
Red,
goes whack,
is
whack
Red
in
Room,
Red Room. I
and
love that.
Socialites. Like I love playing Socialites. I really like the vibe and we actually changed the bridge, I guess you would
Yeah.
call it, in it.
Tempo
And
and
now
tempo,
it's
huge.
and the tempo, and that's probably one of my favorites, just because it metals up.
Yeah, when the breakdown
Thanks for
comes,
pointing that
that's
through,
probably my favorite right there, that breakdown.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Socialites.
Taylor's
Yeah, no, I
humor.
really like
Yeah.
that a lot. What about you,
Just
Adam? Your favorite?
That's super tough. I ended up choosing Loudmouth just because of the dynamics, the energy, there's strings in it, sample in it. It's got like everything in it. It's just like Clint once said, he listened to it when he got the CDs back, and it gave him goosebumps.
Oh man,
Nice.
Does
that's
that.
exactly. Yeah, it's that kind of song for me too. Now I'm a little surprised you didn't pick DFA though, because of that funky
Can't
thing
pick
you
my
do
own.
on the bass. You can't
Sure
pick
you
your
can.
own. But I remember seeing you do that for the first time. That little move you do on the neck. I'd never seen anybody do that
A
before.
little tapping and sliding.
Yeah, a little tap and slide.
That
I
is
thought it
very
was a
cool.
little bit like, remember the story about Eddie Van Halen turning his back on the audience because he didn't want them to see what he was doing with the little hammer thing that he does? I thought maybe you should do a little something like
I
that.
used to do that, and then I got some positive criticism saying you should turn around and show
Yeah.
people because people want to see. And I was like, so every time I'm playing up against my amp, I'm like, Right. Turn around. Show the crowd.
But I like the
It's
FAT
good.
versus
Wow,
strong sound too.
people.
People go wow.
Oh, wow.
I do have to say, it is fun watching Adam play.
Totally.
It is entertaining. So if you're at a show, make sure you pay attention to him.
I'm
For
gonna hide
sure.
now.
You're gonna be all nervous. Everyone's gonna have big binoculars at you.
I think what's cool about this album is no filler on it. I think every song has been
thank you.
carefully crafted, right? I think you can talk
That is
about
a
the
good
care
compliment.
that's been
Thank
put
you.
into every single tune, into the songwriting, into the performance, into the recording. It's really strong, start to finish.
Thanks.
Thank
That's
you
A
very
lot
much.
of love.
I think
A lot
that's
of
right.
love,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
love,
one
love.
thing that we all, when we first started, like really right off the bat, was we wanted to create a band and music that was different, and we didn't want to create a set if it's live or an album or an EP or anything like that, where it's just every song sounds the same, or you can't differentiate between songs, or and that's what we wanted to go
I literally
for.
just said that in that one thing I wrote. Did you read it? When I was like, one of the things that we do is kind of like constantly run from or avoid that boredom of doing the same thing. Because I feel like if we do that, one of us is going to be like, all right, like I'm not even paying attention to what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
we need to be. It's a good thing, I think, to be. It's not a good thing to be bored easily, but like it's good to be, trying to get that new thing and not trying to redo or overdo.
And it's not that hard either. I don't think
Not with us,
it
I don't
is.
think
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it
we
is.
never
yeah.
try to force it. It
Yeah,
just
it just
happens.
happens.
But we're kind of aware of it.
We're aware of it in the way where it's like, hey, we did this song, and
Yeah.
maybe let's keep that other song for 6 months down the
Yeah.
road when we've done these jazzy
Exactly,
and this
yeah.
rockin' one and whatever. But yeah, no, I think it's good that we have a decent attention span, but we also realize that we
Well,
gotta keep
you're
it-
self-aware, I guess,
Yeah.
because I mean, every band wants to produce something that they're proud of
Yeah.
course. But there's this little self-awareness here where you're asking yourselves, wait a minute, does that sound too much like something else that we do? And where you could stack the tunes up end to end and say, we're not really repeating ourselves here.
One thing I think really that helps, I guess you could say, with all that in that process is what we listen to in our own personal time and then bring to the table when we come to practices or when they're with the writing process and stuff, because the stuff that Taylor listens to and the stuff that I listen to, there's obviously things that we do listen to that are the same.
Yeah.
But it's
then
diverse,
Then
right?
there's other things on the
Yeah.
opposite.
It's like, what the hell is that
I
band?
think no matter what musician it is, if you're a vocalist, you're gonna be attracted to other vocalists that are great, right? And where for me, I might not know the difference because I'm not a vocalist.
Or like
right?
lyrics,
So-
like I'll like a band purely on their lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know what you're
Yeah,
saying in
but
these
then again, if
songs.
somebody met Taylor and just went to the shows that she puts on in New Market, they say she's a flat-out punk, right? That all she likes
I'm metal up
is
and
the
I'm a
most
flat out punk.
hardcore
Then she
punk
goes
that
and
you-
she'll play like a jazz night and play like beautiful piano
Yeah.
soul
Aw.
stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, it's true. It's true. And I think what differentiates
All over
you as a band is this very thing, is that you're just not sure what you're going to get.
Cool.
And I
Well,
think
thank
that's what's
you.
amazing
That
about
can
it.
you.
hurt bands, though, I think, sometimes. I don't think it hurts us. I think it benefits us, but I have seen it hurt bands before. Where
Robin
they're just,
Fife said that to me. I asked a whole bunch of people, what would you compare a band to? And he was like, I've always had a really hard time pigeonholing Rue Bella. And I was like, well, that's cool, thanks. And he's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You're right. You don't want to be labeled, but it's easier to be labeled. If
Yeah.
you were,
Yeah.
if you're a doom metal band, then the doom metal people go and buy your record.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the interview you guys did with Randy Richards on 95 Rock or Rock 95,
Yep.
and he stumbled and bumbled a little bit trying to describe
Yeah.
you. Right?
I
He's
think each song has a different vibe. Like, I've heard quite a number of people say Piggy has a big No Doubt and Tragic Kingdom feel, but
Yeah.
then, like, Shane said something like a heavier Vertus of Portishead, and I think that really resembles In Socialites. So, like,
Yeah.
there's all these different weird...
Depends on what song you listen
I
to.
agree,
guess,
right? So it's cool.
yeah, I think it'd be fair to say though, listen up because it's not like anything you've heard before. It really isn't.
Cool.
And I think
Thank
that's
you.
what's fantastic about it. I think it
Thanks, Dave.
marks it for great success.
Thank you very much.
So are we heading towards
We
being
are-
out of time?
Yeah, we are out of time. But we, once again, are Rue Bella. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And our official album release party for Flirt with the Dirt, which we've been sharing with you tonight, is this Saturday, November 25th at the Fox Lounge. You can get tickets in advance at barry.snap.com. I believe that's what it is. But it's Barry Snapped. Google it. Or go to our Facebook and check out. We have links all up and down that news feed. And yeah.
Awesome. So our most sincere thanks and congratulations to Rue Bella, Adam,
Thanks, sir.
Clint, Brandon
sir.
Taylor,
Thank
well
you.
done. Obviously, tremendous amount of work and effort. I have some exposure to how much work and effort having
More than you want. I just keep talking, and
more than I want
just,
about.
I don't shut up.
Is this album ever going to be finished?
Nope.
That
Never.
kind of stuff. Are we ever
Never
going
leave your hand.
Are we ever going to decide these songs are
Saturday.
good enough? I know. And I feel you on that. I know it's because it's something that you know is going to live forever. You want it to be perfect, but I mean, perfection's not really possible.
No, yeah.
You have to decide when it's good enough.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
And we're happy. We're all happy with this. Very happy with
Listen,
it.
I've listened
That's
to
what you
this
want,
through
right?
numerous times. Since I got an advance copy. I maybe should
He's a press
disclose
person.
that.
He's allowed to have it.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm in,
get
I'm in the
jealous,
media,
guys.
and I promise not to share it. And it's fantastic. So to our tens and tens of listeners here on ArtsTalk, I would encourage you to go get this record because you will love it.
Saturday.
So we're gonna go,
On Saturday.
on Saturday, it'll be available. So we're going to go out of here with two of them.
Yeah.
The first is a cover.
Yeah.
And this arrangement of "Come as You Are" is beautiful. I've never heard anything quite like it.
Thank
Was this something that you wrote or arranged?
This was something that I would just honestly. I was trying to learn songs that are easy cover songs, so I could go make real money and play other people's songs at bars. But I never got that far. I just got as far as playing it with you guys.
You got waylaid by
No money. No, just
Brandon
kidding.
Webb.
Sorry.
You
Is
found
that a bad
Brandon in
way
that
of
ditch.
No, it was cool because I had like old songs on SoundCloud, and me and Adam, I remember we were talking about it one night, and I don't remember who I showed it to, but
I loved it.
Yeah,
Right
we were
away.
just like, check out this like
It's such a great
this
arrangement.
jammy
There's
version.
even a Every Time I Die one that's awesome too.
Thanks. Yeah, I cover this Every Time I Die song like super piano, like you know how I do it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, this was a song that I remember the first time we jammed it, and there was a killer recording of us like the first time we ever jammed it, and
remember
it's one of
that
my
one.
favorite recordings. So
So-
it really clicked with us really well right away.
A cover of "Come as You Are,"
Yeah.
the famous Savannah song, and then we're going to finish it off with the first single.
Yeah.
That is also accompanied by an awesome video.
Thank you.
Which is "Piggy."
Yeah.
And "Piggy" is a song like nobody else is making either.
Cool.
The whole creepy clown circus vibe of "Piggy," ain't nobody doing that but Rue Bella.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the last two from "Flirt with the Dirt," "Come as You Are," followed by "Piggy," on ArtsTalk on 102.7 Chop FM.
Come as you were, and as I want you to be, as a friend and as a friend.